So today we will see the real-time pipeline and how we are taking the performance test execution and what are the pipelines available. Majority of the performance testing, what we require the pipelines and to take any server bounds, and that is one thing. And the Dynatrace also, I will give you the walkthrough. So very firstly, if we see any of the application, so whether we are taking the performance test or any of the load test, so the point is to give the application how the application is responding from the client side. That means client side means from our browser point of view. At the same time, server point of view is also important. So if you see performance testing tools like JMeter, LoadRunner, they are unable to give you the oversight from the server side. So what they can provide us is only from the client side. That means only from our browser side point of view only I can see what is the response time, what is the application behavior. I can see that things from the client side, like JMeter or LoadRunner, any tool you are going to take. Whenever you are hitting something, how much amount of time you are getting the response, that you are going to see. But if we want to see from the server side, that is not possible by JMeter or LoadRunner, any PT tool. That can be done by using server side monitoring tools. For example, Dynatrace. This Dynatrace is having lot of advantages. So why we are going to the Dynatrace? What is the purpose of this Dynatrace, that I will give you a walkthrough now. Yeah. So this is the Dynatrace URL link. But before that, let me tell you the Dynatrace mission. The Dynatrace is that should be pre-configured on our servers firstly. That means we have to we should not directly start accessing the Dynatrace directly. That is not possible. There should be the dashboard should be created already. That will be done by Dynatrace admin majority of the times. So if you are good enough experience, then we also can create our Dynatrace dashboard. So let me show you the Dynatrace dashboard overview. This is the real-time Dynatrace dashboard created for our project, which was created a long back. Initially, this is a one-time setup only. So after that, we are going to use this Dynatrace for our monitoring purpose. So let me go to the what Dynatrace that we have. We are going to see on overview. This is the exact performance server where I am currently working on. Like if you see what are the parameters you are going to configure means, firstly we should see what are the number of hosts actually. That is the first thing. So before starting this Dynatrace, I will show you the architecture first. So my application currently, the real-time application, that what we are using currently, the application is sitting on actually two machines, nothing but four managed servers. So this is the architecture. Four managed servers, the application is ideally sitting. Out of those four managed servers, two servers are clustered. That means we are taking two servers and we are keeping them as a cluster. That means these two servers, we are going to call them as clusters. So obviously we are having two clusters in our architecture. So these two clusters in our architecture are making the complete complete infrastructure of the equipment. So here, if you would like to see the overview, then we are going usually to this console. Whenever you join in any project, after your project architecture, after your KT completed, then they will share you all these credentials. Otherwise, you have to ask how to see the console. So I will show you the console now. First, for seeing console, usually the local browsers are not supported because I told this earlier. This is a local browser that is not supported for majority of the tasks. You need to log in into the Citrix browser. So again, for Citrix browser, you will be having different types of approaches. Here currently we are having OTP based approach along with my username and password. So I am logging into the Citrix now. Yeah, this is the Citrix page. So I am going to the Citrix browser. You can take any browser. I am taking the Edge browser here. Whatever available, you can take any of the browser. So I am taking the Edge browser. it will take little time to open because Citrix pages are slow compared to other local browsers. If you click local browser, it will invoke immediately, but Citrix browser, yeah. Now if you see, this is invoking you the Citrix browser. This is opening the resource, Microsoft Edge resource, and you will be able to see another new tab here once it is opened up. Why we need to go with Citrix means they have enabled it only through Citrix. I will enter the credentials in the normal browser also. You will come to know. This is my office mission. I'm taking today from my office mission. Yeah. Now this should be up. Yeah, yeah. Now if you see, this is the Citrix browser that I am talking about. So this is a looks like very normal browser, but thing is that the configurations have been altered according to the organization requirement. Again, who will develop this means there will be separate team will be there at the beginning of these projects and everything. They will take care about all this. You need to take these credentials. You need to take the how to access the Citrix page like that. They will let you know all the details, but we have to check the console. So what is the purpose of this console means we are calling it as WebLogic. So in the WebLogic page, you are going to see what are the available servers are there. So what is the total? What is the server health is there? So everything you can able to see. Let me log into this page. Yeah, if you see, this is my WebLogic URL. Yeah, this is accessed through the IP address. Let me enter the same IP address in the local browser. This is my local browser. So here, if I try to access, even though this is my office mission, this is unable to connect because I'm not accessing this page to the Citrix. So I am unable to see any response here. If you are for this type of IP addresses or for this type of access, you need to go to the Citrix page. Now I just given the URL. Now you can see the page is up. So my point is Citrix page is much important to see the server side health or any of the overview. If you want to see in the graphics format, then this is the better option. WebLogic credentials you need to take. Now let me enter this. Even though you have credentials, we are unable to open this in our missions because you see this URL is not accessible. Yeah. Now I just logged into the WebLogic page of 142. Remember this 142. This is the IP address where currently performance server is sitting on. Now, if you just click on the servers here, this is the environment. So if you click on this, this is showing you what are the total number of list of servers are there that is being shown here, like manager 1, manager 2, manager 3, manager 4. Like all these 4 are the servers that what we are seeing in the architecture. So these 4 servers we are seeing on this, and this is health is, if you see the health is okay, that means they are running fine, there is no issue at all. So we can see this is one type of overview. If you can see any of the application is shutting down or any of the application is not working, then you will see here. And the health also, most of the times you are going to monitor. So what is the total number of current free size, what is the heap memory, that also we can see here. If you see, this is the current amount of free heap here. Now if you ignore these last 3, everything is the in the bytes. If you ignore the 6 characters, 3 and 3, this is the 4131. This is the total number of server capacity in the GB format. So this much amount of size is there available already in this mission. That means more than 4 TB is available, and 6 TB is occupied. That means it's a 10 TB mission that what we are using currently. So out of that overall, this is the total number of availables and utilized size. Now we will go to the back page. There I will show you the clusters also. So here the cluster, if you see this cluster, how the things are being clusterized here, that you can see here. So here 142 2 servers, 143 2 servers. If you can see the highlighted one, these 2 are the 142 up to here. not here. These are the two putting on one cluster. Whatever I have highlighted now, these are the two which are 142 server which are under one cluster, and again these rest of these two are 143, 143. These are again two more servers which are clustered again on performance server. So why they are following this means this is the usual pattern how the people will do. They will part the they will take the multiple missions and they will combine it as one performance server majority of the time. This is completely the networking concept. So here we can see what type of the services are also running. So these are the complete list of services that you can see. This is not up to our like we don't need to care much about this internal how they have configured and everything. Just you need to know how they have configured and what are the changes. That's it. Mainly the environment you are going to see, the servers and the clusters, and any missions are also there. If you see, these are the four missions. I told 142 on two networks servers and 143 on two servers. So these are the four missions they have taken, and combining these four missions they are calling it as performance server in my organization. Your organization may be different. Once you join into the project, you may see 10 servers here, you may see only one server also here. So what I am going to tell you is how they have configured like those details. You don't need to focus much, but you need to know what missions are configured as a performance server. If there are four missions like this, then you need to check about the performance of these four missions also. That is point number one you have to take. If your organization is configuring 10 missions, then you have to take care of those 10 missions as your performance server mission, because they are telling all these missions are your PT servers only. So currently I am responsible for these four missions, nothing but four servers. Together these four servers are called as performance server. Okay, and the mission names are here. I am just copy pasting this mission name, BLP1144. So you need to take this mission and you need to enter into your Dynatrace. This is the Dynatrace. Here if you see the same mission BLP1144. Otherwise you can directly search like this also. Here there is one search button is there. You can directly enter the copy item. Yeah, if you see there is one host with this mission name. So if you click on that, it will show the insights of the particular mission. So you can see what is the total size of the mission. Yeah, it will take little time even though your network speed is really good. Yeah, if you see, this is the mission uptime. So the first thing is uptime. Uptime means this mission is running since last 9 days, because we haven't turned off this mission. Previously, for every 1 week, majority of the missions they will keep the shutdown time. Shutdown time means they will take the restart kind of things, or they will do the bounce, server bounce, and everything they will perform. So at that time, you are going to see what type of whether the uptime is there or not. So that statistics you are going to see. So here this will let you know what is the total server uptime and what is the total number of CPU. Here this seems very low, but majority because we are not running anything. Today is only Monday morning 9 o'clock, so nothing is going on, because that's why CPU is in the still in the ideal condition with the 2%. If it is some business hours after 10 o'clock, we will start some 10:30 we will start working on these servers. So definitely it will reach to 30 to 40%. And this is the available memory which always should be at least 30% or 40%. So majority of the industry standards, that one. And this is the network speed, so how much amount of network that is connected. So everything you can see here. Now as a part of performance testing, what you have to learn from this Dynatrace mission is, the very first thing is that you need to identify what are your hosts here actually. So I have identified my host, which is 1164. Now you need to take the test whenever you have completed your test. At that time, how your server is performing, that is your point. Remember this. Now how the system is behaving currently, this doesn't matter to us. You need to take when the test is done, at that time how your system behave. That is a matter for, that is a point we have to identify. So if you see, we are running test. For example, yesterday I have run one test for example. So at that time how my server is behaving, then you need to choose the timings here. This is the best advantage of Dynatrace. If this is not, if Dynatrace is not working like this, then it may not be this much great tool. Because at the time of running the test earlier, before Dynatrace coming to the market, the situation was at the time of running your test, you have to open your monitoring also parallelly. For example, if you are doing test today at 1 o'clock to 1 o'clock to 5 p.m., so those 4 hours you have to open your monitoring setup also, and you need to monitor the server health parallelly, how the server is behaving. That parallelly you need to monitor. But that problem is solved because of this Dynatrace 24/7 monitoring. If you are telling or not telling, if you are instructing or not instructing, Dynatrace will be monitoring your server for 24/7 continuously. 365 days, this is going to monitor. You need to simply get the logs what you want by selecting the time range. So here you can select here in this right top corner, which is you can go for this custom. So in this custom, you can alter your timings according to that. For example, today is September 22nd. Mostly Dynatrace will hold the up to 30 days logs majority of the times. If you go to July, June, I'm not sure, this may get or may not get. So even if you are giving this range, majority of the time this is not getting. Yeah, if you see the proper stats, yeah, CPU performance was printed. Yeah, memory also printed. Yeah, this is storing. This is storing. But let me go to the recent run. Any recent runs are there? Yeah. So this is the recent run I have monitored at the different time range. So we have seen at the May 2nd the performance. Yeah. Now this was one run that we have saved in our system. So what are the statistics that you are going to see here? So that they are required here to report to the client. So here, if you see the CPU performance, so here what is the average performance you need to take care, and similarly the maximum percentage also you need to take care, because during this run, if you see here, if you identify the graph here, during that run was happened, for example, May 2nd 8 to May 3rd 3:30, that means 6 to 3:30. That means obviously this is 9 hours run. We have taken 9 hours run at that day. So during this 9 hours run on May 2nd, 6 p.m. to May 3rd morning 3:30 a.m., during this time, how my system has behaved, that means the maximum time it was hit around 78%. If you see here, this is the 80 percentage cutoff. If something is exceeding 80%, then you have some issues with your runner. So what you need to identify from this graph is you need to check this 80% cutoff, because 80%, more than 80%, if it is exceeding CPU, then you have to convey your team that I have taken 9 hours test. During that, I have identified our system is touching more than 80%. I have noticed 85%, 90% CPU utilization is happening, which is not suggested in terms of performance wise. So we have to fix something. We have to tune the application to some more level. We have to query, we have to optimize the performance to the next level. Then only we can see the proper performance of the application. So that is one thing. Now if you see here, the majority of the CPU is touching around this. CPU is approximately 50%. If you see 48.1 is there. Yeah, I'm unable to put my cursor there. If you see, the CPU idle time was 98% of the time the CPU was in the idle condition. That means the first factor you see 1.2%, this is not in the ideal condition. That means there is some deviation. So 1.2, 1.3% is okay, majority of the organization. But if you see the system user point of view, that is touching 48 at the maximum, that's okay. And this is the minimum amount of time, which is 21%. So in this way, you can identify the CPU by hitting this, and the minimum percentage is not required. Majority of the times we will ignore this, but some people will even ask what is the minimum, what is the maximum. But minimum, there is no point of seeing the minimum, because if you see, the minimum would be approximately 8%, somewhat 9%, not even 10. Most of the times it was 8% only. So this is the minimum CPU and this is the maximum CPU. Average is not required because our objective is here, being a performance tester, you are measuring the highest CPU during the execution. What was your maximum touch, that you are going to highlight. But it's good if you report average also. you can convey averagely the CPU was approximately this percentage, not even 15%. So our systems are good capability in terms of capability, then we can even go for higher load also. That is one point. Yeah, similarly in the memory also you can see what is the total amount of memory that is going to happen, and the disk also we are considering majority of the times. So how the disk utilization is also happening. So during this time, how the utilization, that means at the initial time, in the very run starting, how was the disk utilization and what is the maximum number of peak here. So that also you can see here. And this is the traffic, incoming traffic. So what is the traffic, what is the total number of count, what is the total number of maximum number of traffic that you are going to see, and what is the minimum. If you see, this is the maximum peak of the traffic which was happened at the initial stage 7:30 to 8:30. So at that time the maximum number of traffic happened. Why the maximum number of traffic happened at that time means, if you see the right corner, the timings, the run started at 6 o'clock. I have kept the timings as 6 o'clock. So the traffic, majority of the traffic was around 7:30 to 8:30. That means after my run starting, I am having some ramp up period. I will show the script. So this is the script, for example, not exactly, this is the exact script. If you see the ramp up time here, I have added is totally 30 minutes. 1800 seconds means 30 minutes. So majority of the times for the first 1 hour, during the 6 to 7 time, that 1 hour entire users are still ramping up against the application. That means you are not going to see majority traffic. You have seen at the after 7:30, you are seeing majority of the traffic. So that is the maximum, and this is minimum is again not required. But let us see, this is the minimum amount of traffic we are seeing here during these 9 hours of time. We are seeing this. Yeah. So these are whatever you are seeing here. These parameters are your attributes of the Dynatrace we are calling. So what attributes you are configuring to your Dynatrace is depending on your client requirement again. But majority of the times we are going to note down CPU, disk, memory, and load. These are the main parameters. Apart from these parameters, if client is specific any, then you have to add those also. Yeah. So now if you see here, there are 4 missions. As I told, there are totally contains 4 hosts are there. So you can see what are those 4 hosts and how we have connected those 4 hosts also. We need to search here. So let me go for the next one, which is 65, because I shown you in this WebLogic page. This is the one. This is the 64, 65, 66, 67. These 4 are our performance servers. So you need to repeat the same process for your all missions. Let me search for this. Yeah, if you see, I got another host. I am just opening it in another new page. Yeah, and one good thing is Dynatrace will save the timestamp here. I have saved this timestamp as May 2nd. So that is opening again in the new page also, May 2nd, the same time range it is opening for our convenience. Now this is the same host, which is this is the next host, which is which is also a part of our performance server 165. So here the CPU, this is the maximum utilization. So here also, yeah, if you see here, there is one problem for us at that time. If you see here, you can see the one bottleneck here. This is throwing the CPU is meeting here 88.5%. That means the CPU is touching the maximum here. 80% line is the maximum line I told, but this is crossing at this particular amount of time. This is crossing the ideal CPU. That means there is some issue. That means either we are giving more load on this 165 mission, or the load is not distributing equally, because 165 is bearing more load means 164, 167, 166, both remaining these 3 are not sharing the load properly. So this type of issues also you can see. Why we are seeing this here more amount of CPU utilization means, because 165 maybe that is getting more amount of incoming load to this. This is one performance bottleneck you have identified. To take this graph details, you have to give the page details also. In this page, I have identified there is one issue, so that they will your dev team will sit on this and they will come to know what type of issues that they are going to see, they will let us know. And another mission we will see 166. I will check. Yeah. So this 166 in the same time range, if you see the CPU, there is no data because this is the problem. If you see the load balancer is not working properly, I told that is the main reason. There is no data available. That means this mission is not at all in the active at that time. So you are not going to see the load distribution, that is not happening properly. That is the reason we are getting this error. Now let me see the 167 also. Yeah. So 167 remaining these two missions 66, 67. These two missions are not at all sharing the load. That is the reason we are getting the issue for this second mission, which is 65 is having issue because 66 and 67 these are not at all sharing any data. So that means your test run well, but your response times are fine, but your server health is gone because you can see it in the Dynatrace that is touching more than 80. So you need to configure, you need to inform your network team or infra team that these two missions are not taking up the load. Then you will start the RCA, like what is the root cause analysis that we are starting by stating that we have to see the configuration issues before the run. Otherwise, they are being in the intermediately they may be switching off, or they are not holding up the entire load, or the load is not distributing because your load balancer is having some issue. In this way, you can identify the issues with your Dynatrace, which is very, very useful tool. And what else I can do with Dynatrace apart from this monitoring is you can see the top level issues, top level calls that what are making issue. So further, just scroll down a little bit. Now, here you will be having, let me zoom it to some more. Yeah, here you will be having the details of the processes or the threads, like what threads has caused your execution and what is the total CPU usage. According to that, you can see this is the one 11.6 percentage. That means the thread total CPU was around at this time. And now if you can see this thread, yeah, so this is giving you the complete overview of your application, and you can see in the available memory also, you can see simply you can go to this metrics, which is Java virtual machine metrics. Here you can see here what is the heap memory utilization also. So if you click on this show detailed memory metrics, then you can see the complete analysis how the memory has been utilized from the beginning onwards till the end of your run. So in this way, you can identify any abnormalities are there, any sudden spikes, any sudden drops are there that you can see, and you can identify in this any vulnerabilities are there that also you can see, and the log wise also you can see any particular parameter if it is making any issue. Yeah. So now, if you see any parameter also, if you would like to find that also we can find by using this. This is our jmeter script. In this jmeter script, I can see. Let me find something here in this application. Yeah. So there are some process names are there. There are some dashboards. There are some event names are also there. So you can search with this any of these by going to your Dynatrace. There you can identify any of your requests are not working out. Then you can see what type of details, what type of issues for that particular keyword that also you can find out. So let me show that one also. Yeah, here this is the event name that I am, because this is again from application to application this will change. I'm not telling your organization also will write everything in the same pattern, but you need to identify what details they are expecting and what are the keywords, and how to how to see the walkthrough, how to identify what type of parameters we are expecting, so that you can see in the snapshot view. So that was not executed. So let me search with another parameter. All these are the keywords we are usually searching. Yeah, that was not executed during that day. So here what I am going to convey is, this is a complete set of monitoring purpose which will give you detailed overview on your application. So detailed overview means anything from your application, how the 8 hours test or 9 hours test if you are taking. So how the execution is happening, and what is the host performance in terms of your configured parameters, like what is the CPU, what is the memory, what is the disk, and what is the errors. Majority of the times we will focus on this CPU, memory, disk only. Majority, these are our majority priorities. That's why they are in the top list. And again, these remaining parameters are again of client choice. And here also, any incoming, outgoing, any issues are happening. So that one also you can see, the packets means the data, how the data switch is happening. So that also we can give, and the traffic point of view and CPU point of view, and IO operations like network IO operations and system IO operations, these two, and any usage point of view, how the memory is being utilized. So these are the main parameters. These we will give. So I will show you how we are giving that one. Let me show you some report. So how we will show them to the client. We will simply prepare one PowerPoint slide. That is again, you need to let me show you one. Yeah, this was one previous old report that I have prepared. Yeah, now this is ready. So this is every release point of view. I am going to prepare. We are going to prepare this as a part of our exit report. So what this exit report usually consisting. This is your total effort that what you are taking for your performance tester. That is the main. Like this is the end to end. So if you see, this is the overview. We have written some overview. Like we have done some test. We have executed the 59. This is a code base that what we are running currently. So for this we have done one execution, and how many number of total transactions that you have added, because my script is containing approximately 230. So these 229 transactions I have to mention, and what is the better percentage. And this report also, let me show you the first that report, because this report we will see majority of the times from our directly from our jmeter tool. Yeah. So this is the PT report, general, what we are getting from our jmeter report. So the same report I am showing you now. So what is this baseline means? We have set one results as our baseline. The client will be agreeing before taking any execution. They will be taking one baseline. Majority of the times the baseline will be previous release. So in my organization, the pattern is currently they are following this pattern, like 5700, after that 5750, after that 5800, after that 5850. Like this is some releasing naming convention. Again, don't think there is nothing much logic will be there. It is just Android applications or iPhone applications. We will see the version 1.0 will be there initially. After that, if it is major change, again they will introduce 2.0. If it is some minor change, they will introduce only 2.1. If it is very minor change, 2.1.1. Like that, they will change. If there is any big change, again they will go for the version 3.4. Like that, they will keep on improving the product according to the time. Like time to time, they will modify the some features. They will remove some security vulnerabilities. They will make the application strong by strong, like in terms of feel, in terms of approach. Like every day they will make their present their application in better way. In the same way, we are also having our project is also will be having the same release numbers. These numbers the client is the customer is not going to know, because they don't care about what version you are releasing, what is the improvement from the last version to present version, even though they identify. But if something happened wrong, they will definitely highlight all the issues. If you change something, if you change the performance, for example, 5700, if you are getting response in 4 seconds, so 5750, if you are getting response in 3 seconds, the client will not complain, because client is even unable to feel the difference. Maybe some persons may feel, but majority of the persons, they will not identify much difference. But if it is taking, instead of 4 seconds after your new code, after your new changes, if it is taking 6 seconds, then people will definitely give the complaint. Like people will definitely report on our application. Earlier it was 4 seconds, now it is taking 6 seconds, so something is not correct with this application, they need to change. Like that type of feedbacks we are going to get. So it is our at least we should not disturb the existing one. So we have to take this as our baseline. What is the point I am going to convey here is, this baseline we are taking it as a our comparable thing. If our current execution, current run is performing at least better than this or equivalent this, then we are okay to release. Otherwise there is no point of releasing the new version. You can stop this, you can stop this execute, you can stop this new version, you can postpone this to next month or maybe some after quarter also. So continue with the current version to the live users. Live users means your production people. So let them continue with the old version only, there is no hurry. Instead of releasing the false product into the market, it is better to continue the same product. So we are not releasing it, we are postponing it, deferring it for some other time zone. So that is the pattern we are going to see here. We are comparing it with our baseline result. So this was my previous this is the current result. For example, it is latest release, assume that. So here this is the first transaction, how many number of samples I have hit here, which is the this is the response. 18 millisecond is the response. This was my this is my current runtime. And if you see, previously I got the response as 13 only. If you see, the current version is improved or it is not improved means, I can clearly see here this is not improved, because my previous baseline version, my last release was, I have seen the response in 13 milliseconds only, or 13 seconds, let it be. But here it got responded in 18 milliseconds. That means the response time has increased in the latest version. So this is not acceptable. If you see the second transaction, again it is performing very bad. If you see the login transaction, earlier this was responded in 263 milliseconds. That means approximately 2.6 second. No, this is 0.2 second only. So 0.2 second. Now this has taken 0.6 second. That means 650 millisecond. That means approximately 0.4 second. Approximately 0.4 second difference is increased here. So this is also not satisfied. That means team has to analyze this. Why the deviation is happening? What is the reason? That the team has to analyze. That is the main intention of this performance test. In this, you need to understand the things in this aspect. So as long as minuses are there here, your application is not performing good. So then we have to give this report as it is, like what we are seeing it, and we have to prepare this presentation also. So obviously we are giving a conditional sign off, but let me give you the walkthrough now. So this is the overview. I have performed this total number of transactions, and whether they are good or bad, so that we will give, and what are the observations that we are seeing, that is also okay. And we will keep one cutoff here actually. So exactly they should not perform in the better response. If you see the difference point of view, if you identify this 5 millisecond doesn't matter much, 0.3 millisecond also doesn't matter much, because they are not in seconds, right? If it is more than 1000 if the number is more than 1000, here this is more than 2.5. That means earlier it has performed in 4.8 seconds. This is the figure 4.8 second. Now this is taking 7.3. That means approximately 2.5 second delay is happening. That means this transaction must be reviewed or it must be corrected. Then only we can go for the releasing of this code, because this is not the accepted thing. Earlier it is responding in 4.8 second. Now this is deviating to 7.3 second. That means the performance has been degraded 2.5 seconds. It is exceeding. This is not at all accepted range. So this if they want to go, then that, because that is not that is not our decision. As a PT team, we cannot take the decision. We have to report the things what are happening. So if this is the deviation, if they want to go, then we have to give the conditional sign off by mentioning that these are the transactions I have observed in my execution. They are taking more time, that you have to draft in the mail. Then we have to give the conditional sign off. For these transactions, if you are about to blame PT team, then we are not responsible. Like that is a kind of condition. It's like a condition statement you are going to give, and you are going to give the sign off. Again, that is onto the client's bar. That is the client's decision. So that is different. Now, in this way, you can observe. So one transaction is having error. If you see, we have highlighted this in our report preparation. One transaction is having error. Forget about the name. This is not your scope. Whatever may be the transaction is having error, and another transaction is having high response time. And rest of them are performing well. So you need to mention what are your identifications in future. If after releasing the product into the market, the client may be again, they may be coming to you and they may be telling why you haven't informed us, like that they will tell. So it is better always you have to put your observations and issues, any identifications if you are taking, so that also you need to put, and any additional errors that you are taking, that you need to put, and what is the change, if you see any change, that you also have to mention, and LB, whether that is happening properly or not, load balancer, whether that is happening properly or not. This we can see from the Dynatrace, so directly. And what is the CPU observation and memory observations, that you need to attach here. Now see here the next slide. So this is the higher transaction response, what we are getting. So compared to the baseline, if you see, previously my baseline is giving 21 seconds, the response I am getting earlier. This is my previous baseline. Now in this execution I am getting 37 seconds. That means approximately 16 seconds of deviation is there, 21 second and 37 second. So current version is performing the same task in 37 second. So I am highlighting this, I am giving them overview like this, and you can attach the report also. This attaching report, whatever you are getting from your jmeter, directly you can insert this the same Excel sheet for the client reference point of view. Now the rest of the 4 slides are our Dynatrace slides only. That much important Dynatrace. This is up to the 4 slides, or first 4 slides are your PT, like from your jmeter or LoadRunner, any tool you are following, that you can write up this overview, observations, results, and you can add here. But rest of these slides, these are completely your Dynatrace captured slides, because I told you need to give not only from the client point of view, you need to give from the server point of view also. These are your servers, like what you are highlighting here. 6.4 is your server, 6.5 is also 6.5 is also our server, 6.6 and 6.7. These 4 are my servers. Again, how I can come to know? I have seen this console page. I have logged into this console page, and here I have clicked on my servers. So in this WebLogic console, I have seen these are my 4 servers, which I have highlighted. These are my 4 servers which are in the running state. Again, there are 4 more servers. They are in the shutdown stage. The purpose is like these are the backup. If anything happened for those 4, intentionally, if you want to make some changes, they will network team will prepare mirrors in the beginning itself. So these 4 you should not consider, because they are not in the operating. They are shutdown, means we are not going to use. So forget about these 66 and 67, like these are not required. So these are the 4 mission. These are the 4 managed 1 we are calling, managed 2, managed 3, managed 4. If you want to see more about, you can simply click on that and you can see what is the total amount of port numbers that we are configuring, and what is the compiler, what is the default sources. So every detail we can see. If you are good at networking, you can identify the more insights. But the majority is the clustering part and the configuration part and the services part. That is really good enough to see as a performance tester. And here you can see any overload issues are happening, that also you can identify here. So these are the infrastructure people things, like they will configure whenever there is some panic happen. That means panic means some abrupted load is happening. Then what we have to do? Exit the server process, or then simply you can ignore this also. But don't change any of the settings in your organization. Just we have to majority of the things we have to keep the things for our reference purpose only. All alterations we should not done. And machines point of view, yeah, these are the permissions and these are the hosts actually. So what are the virtual host if we are having? So there is no virtual host, and any of the configured templates are there, that is also not there. So majority servers and clusters, as I told. So these four missions we are taking, we are capturing the screenshots, like we are capturing the CPU maximum. If you see, this is the report we have taken for 64 mission. So this 64 mission we are taking the screenshot at the time range. During our test execution, I have seen the maximum here is approximately 28%. So I have written the same maximum CPU was 28%, and memory utilization, if you see, memory is touching almost 60%. It is exceeding more than half of the value. So we are identifying this as memory utilization at this time. And similarly, you have to mention the same for our 65 mission also. This is the 65 mission. So what is your CPU? If you see the CPU, that is the maximum is again for this 66, and memory is also again the same zone. And here the disk and networks also you need to add. So how the disk is performing and how the network traffic is also happening. These four parameters you need to give. And the last slide, you have to give the sign off, like they are reaching you for this performance testing, they are reaching for the sign off purpose. That means either you are okay with the application, either you are good to go, or you are saying no to go. So here we have to again think multiple aspects, whether you are working as a direct client person, or you are working as a application side performance tester. So based on that, this will be impacting. That means this will be it's a kind of, they are forcing you to give the go. But even though you are working as from the client side, or you are working as from any third party side, that doesn't matter. You have to mention everything in your report. But if any issues you are seeing, that also you have to clearly mention, except 2 transactions, 3 transactions you have to give. And finally you have to give the conditional sign off, because these are the two conditions that I have identified issue. So if I see the issue, then how can we ignore that there is no issue? Like that we should not go. So there will be requirement that they are always expecting this to be go, because they don't want the deployment to be late. So in that cases, you can mention what conditions you have seen an error, and again what is taking more time, that also you have to attach properly in the report. Yeah, this is the complete end-to-end Dynatrace using requirement. And again, how we will do the analysis part, that also I will show you quickly. So this Dynatrace, again, there will be people inside your organization, those who are learning only Dynatrace, who are working as a Dynatrace admin. Majority of the projects will be having that type of role also. But we need to learn how much we require to start our performance testing job. Monitoring point of view only I'm covering. So if you see, there is one option will be there, multi-dimensional analysis. That is the better, that is the majority of the times we are using that option. So what is that going to show here? If you see, multi-dimensional analysis, so this option Let me open this page. So this option usually what you are going to see here is here any of the application what top web request or what DB statements or any of the exception issues or any of the abnormalities are happening, so that you can see on this application. So now we will see what we can do with this. For example, let me go with the sign in issue, which is a sign on. Yeah, this is the sign on request that is happening. There is no request count is not there. So what this multidimensional analysis, you can see the priority point of view, how many issues are happening, like what is the complete root cause analysis also you can see. Like it's a kind of deeping more diver. It's a kind of going into more application availability, like what is the total number of requests and at particular time how this is happening, so that we can see. So that option you can see under this infrastructure observability. Under this you will see that MDA multidimensional analysis option. Yeah, this is the one, application observability. Under this you will be seeing this MDA, which is this is multi-dimensional analysis. And even you can see in the distributed traces also, you can see like how the application health is being configured during that time. Let me go to some other one. Maybe this execution we have, this is already May, that is not possible. So let me go to the last 2 hours. Yeah, in the last 2 hours data, this is bringing us, this is loading the September 22 today's data, which is the fresh data. So all these are the threads that are happening on the application from the last 2 hours. So what commits they are happening, that means somebody else is taking the bounce in the backend. That's why I'm getting these commit calls. So if you click on this, you can come to know the thread ID and the process details, so that we can identify from which request, from which mission that you are taking. And in this thread section, you can see this is the thread ID that is making the time taking. And at this code level also, you can see like this is more, it's a more performance engineering, I can say. But apart from the scripting, apart from our execution, we have to involved in this performance engineering also. Then only we can see what exact, how to identify the issues also. We can see this is the metadata, like at what particular process ID this is taking. So with this process ID, if there is any issue, the developer can identify what is the actual issue and what is the RCA that is taking for this, and from which mission the existing one is extracted. This is the all, most of them are Linux mission, which is Linux servers they are using. And this is the server, the Apache Tomcat server, and the technologies are like the code was on both Java and the Spring, and the WebLogic was Oracle WebLogic, and this is the client is Apache HTTP client and Java connections. Like this is the project overview, I can say. And we can see how much amount of time the request also contain. Yeah, in this distributed we can say. And in the MDA multi-dimensional analysis, let me take the last 2 hours analysis. Yeah, this is the last recent 2 hours analysis. Not 2 hours, it has not got up. Yeah, now these are the recent 2 hours data. So total, you can see the get calls, how many number of get calls are happening, and create calls, and what are the CS call, JS call. So again, this is again on our application, what type of data we are taking. Yeah, now this we will see get perspective list. This one earlier we would like to try, but the data was not there. So this is showing the multi-dimensional analysis for this particular call, how the get data is happening, and logged in EIN. And this is different again to the application. So you can see here how many number of requests are happening. So counts per minute, that means 0.033. That very less number of requests are happening. If I would like to, because yesterday was I will take the last 7 days data. It would be more better. There we can see, because last weekend nobody will use the application, so we will see very less number of counts. Yeah, if you see 0.1 count for every minute, that means approximately we are seeing more number of counts for the application during this time range, and these are the time to time range on 16 September at what time the counts are making. And we can see in this graphical point of view also, and what type of total number of requests for this call to call they are happening, that also we can see. So as a conclusion, I can tell this Dynatrace is industry leading tool. So where you can see application performance in terms of server point of view. Again, server point of view, if you like to perform, you need to get the host name what is configured. With that host name, you can search that many number of missions you would like to identify, and you need to give the time range. After giving this time range, you need to go to this infrastructure observability, and from there multi-dimensional analysis and distributed traces. So in these distributed traces, if any of the application calls are there, so that we need to identify. Majorly we will concentrate on the host mission health actually. Like if you see here, all these are the host configured in my organization currently. Let me give the count. 161 missions are there in my organization. They have been configured currently to the Dynatrace. All these are the names. So all these are out of scope, because for me your scope is only the 4 missions. What are those 4 missions which you have seen in your WebLogic? These 4 missions, these are my responsibility. These 4 missions health I need to monitor, I need to prepare it as a report, and we need to take them as our monitoring purpose. Yeah, this is good intro on Dynatrace. Tomorrow we will see dump analysis, like how we are doing memory dump, how we do thread dump analysis. So that we will see.